Hi, my name is Tricia Perkey from Austin, Texas. Today I'd like to share a story involving an online system that was instrumental in me attracting every buyer and seller I ever represented. A few years back, I lived in Petaluma, California, where I had practiced real estate part-time for 3.5 years. Being a part-timer during a devastating economy was not advised. Just the same, during that brief time, I was introduced to relationship marketing, which definitely tipped the scale in my favor, and I have faith that it will for you too. I'm saving the details of relationship marketing for future episodes, but today I wanted to share with you one of my favorite stories with a happy ending that demonstrates the power of a system I used then to turn my business around in my second year and still use to this day. The online system is SendOutCards. You'll understand if you listen to all 6 minutes of this presentation just how simple it can be to stay relevant in your business in this very noisy and fickle world. First, allow me to set the stage on the circumstances leading up to when Peter and I first met. It was May and our daughter was going to graduate from college. Our flights were booked. This was an exciting time for our little family. It was also a very stressful time. I was tied up in a bidding war on a listing, and things were really heating up just as Steve and I took off for Austin from California. Thankfully, I was teamed up with the most capable agent who stayed behind to deal with things in my absence. So there we were in the Houston airport on the last leg of our trip when I received a call on my cell from a mild-mannered gentleman by the name of Peter, who was interested in the very same property that ended up with 8 strong offers. It hurt me to inform him that the property's value had been bumped up substantially due to the bidding war and that the seller had just accepted an offer. Although disappointed, Peter agreed the house was not an option for him anymore, which gave me the green light to have a chat about what he was actually looking for. And I had the presence of mind to get all his contact information from him before we hung up, because he struck me as the kind of individual I wished to represent. Here's where SendOutCards came to my rescue. The first thing I did after checking into our hotel was to send Peter a 5x7 nice to meet you card from my online account, thanking him for his interest and that I looked forward to helping him on my return in a week's time. I then clicked send, and SendOutCards printed the card, stuffed it in an envelope, included a stamp, and mailed it that very next morning. If you haven't seen how the cards are manufactured, text me your email and I'll send you a great video on that. In a week, I was back home and arranged to meet with Peter personally. And the moment we greeted each other face to face, you just need to take my word for it. Peter was no longer my prospect, but my client. Call it intuition, but I knew it. Later to find out that he'd visited with other realtors, but before our meeting was over that morning, he'd committed to being my client. We got right to work and soon discovered that Peter, although a very successful architect and property owner from South America, had never used a credit card or had any history of credit. The mortgage companies weren't going to budge and suggested he apply again in 6 months after he had created a credit score. Wow, that was a bit of a blow, but 8 months later, Peter finally bought his new home. I tried my best to set the stage in detail as to what the circumstances were when Peter called my cell that day. First, I was 2,000 miles away and was unable to even respond to his wishes to view the property. Yet SendOutCards made it simple to plant a seed of trust by affording me a quick and simple means of sending a follow-up card to our conversation, and that, in short, eliminated any doubts he might have had about considering me for his realtor. Secondly, circumstances demanded that he be patient for 6 months so he could build a credit history. A delay like that might have soured any client's resolve to stick with me. Again, the SendOutCard system came to my rescue on that account as well. There you have one of many stories. Have you realized yet that you too have circumstances that require a quick reply with the written word? Times when just a gesture of how much you care can change the entire climate of a relationship. So do you do it? Do you send handwritten notes? If not, and you know you need to if you're in business, would you like to never miss an opportunity again? I now coach on the SendOutCards system. If you would like more information, please text me with your questions. I'd like to get acquainted with your particular needs so that you can get started in winning over your own loyal clients today. Again, this is Tricia Perkey, Certified Teacher of SendOutCards, and wherever you are or whatever you do, you'll find me easy to reach and able to teach. Thanks for tuning in.